Good evening. It is March 10th, Wednesday. Dries with. I got Alex Sportsmouth, JB. Tori is going to be joining us a little late, probably in about 5 minutes. She was having some internet problems, so she had to step away from the house. So how are you doing, JB?
I'm good. I wish it was Friday, but
I was thinking the same thing. Like before we were talking about, we're like, I'm so tired. I want to go to bed.
Yeah, it was a long day.
It was I think Alex's is Friday. He only works on Monday through Thursday.
Tomorrow is my Friday. So
tomorrow's your Friday. Oh, lucky you.
Friday. So,
but I got to work Sunday, so there goes.
Oh yeah,
so much for that fun, but it's okay.
That fun, right?
On Saturday nights, you can't turn up because you got to work on Sunday.
No.
Oh,
podcast and then go to bed.
Yeah, go to bed. We actually have to do a pre-recorded that we missed last week. He had to go to work, and so we're going to try to do a recorded show tomorrow, and then we're supposed to post it live on Sunday. So see how that goes. It's that's going to be our first, but this is normal now, Wednesdays and stuff. So I'm going to go over a little bit some points that we went over last night. So JB's originally born in Puerto Rico, moved to New York as an infant with her mom, and then her mom basically moved to the west side of Detroit when she was about 9, and ended up eventually, I guess, going to school in Southwestern in Southwest Detroit. She went to Munger, went to Chadsey, and then eventually graduated from Southwestern. So, I got to ask you a question because I know you said you graduated in what year did you graduate?
95.
95. Was there any? I'm trying to like timeline. Was there any Fab Five guys there when you were there?
I don't even know what Fab Five.
No, they was playing already. They were already in the league.
All right, I was thinking like Juwan Howard, but I can't even remember.
Might have been like Maurice Taylor there or something like that. Yeah, a couple of the Michigan basketball players.
Michigan basketball players. Yeah, no, you're like no.
You're right. The basketball coach from Southwestern. He kind of bounced back and forth, to the NBA and stuff like that. So,
crazy.
They were really well known.
Oh, okay.
For that, and obviously Jerome Bettis.
I got this question that's burning. Are you back here, Tori? Are you back? Where are you driving? You must drive from your house.
I think so.
Oh, there you go. Did you get your Did you go to driver's education at Southwestern?
I did.
I did too. I was just wondering.
So did I.
You forgot to ask you.
Do you remember the teacher's name?
No, it was an older chubby white guy. I can't remember his name.
Wow, with glasses.
We used to call him Mr. Mott.
With glasses.
Goodness.
Yeah. That's what we used to call him, was Mr. Mott's, because he would always eat the Mott's burgers.
Oh my gosh! I think I remember that.
I don't even. Maybe I didn't pay attention. All right, Tori, are you there? Or are you still frozen?
She's like,
I don't know.
I hear you.
With it. I'm just going.
You're just driving.
Right.
I hear
away from it.
Okay.
She's driving away.
No,
from
actually,
the tower,
yeah, I'm driving away from it. So that's what I'm doing.
Getting better. Right.
It's getting better.
It's getting better.
I should probably see getting better. Okay,
right.
Good.
You're getting better.
Put my seatbelt on.
Put your seatbelt on.
Little community.
Ended up graduating from Southwest.
Hold on. You just tell me if it's not ready. Go.
Okay. So Alex, she originally graduated from Southwestern. At the time, 18 or 19, she had 2 children already. By the age of 21, she had 4 children already.
You had your first at 16, right?
I did. First daughter at 16, second daughter at
we didn't touch on that. How difficult was it having a child that young? Because I know Tori had one when she was 15 too. So
yeah.
Or having a couple at that age. Actually.
It's a norm. Right. It was hard. at the time I had the support of my mom. So, you know, it was her first grandkid. So of course for her, it was like, you know, when they're first time grandmas, they're like,
right.
Hey, I'm gonna do everything,
They
you
get
know?
everything, yeah.
One thing that she was really particular about was like, you have to finish high school. Like, I don't care about anything else, but you have to finish high school. And so
Right.
like, it was hard. Like I went to school and then at night I didn't sleep because the one thing is my mom took care, you know, of the babies during the day. But
Right.
as soon as I got home, it was like, here you go.
Right.
Just don't sleep, you know.
Right.
It was hard.
It was difficult. Now I know you. We had the conversation last night, and you said that I believe you said your counselor said, and not so many words, but you ain't gonna be shit. So
Yeah.
you're gonna do nothing. So just forget about it. Drop out now. And that usually, to be honest with you, I think it sets a fire under everybody that ever hears those or utters those words. You ain't gonna be shit. You ain't gonna do. Why are you gonna drop? Well, you know, wasting your time. Blah blah blah. And that for you was it lit your fire, and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna finish school. I'm gonna finish school, and I'm gonna prove to this person that I'm not only gonna be somebody, but I'm gonna do something in my life. And that, like I said, that definitely. I know it could be a challenge for a lot of people. A lot of people do. A lot of people do fold. They crawl under the rock, and you know what I mean. They're doing. You know what I'm saying. They're doing drugs or drinking for 10 or 15 years until they figure out, oh shit, you know, there goes. Now I'm in my 30s or 40s. So, so that turning point was definitely huge for you. Now you're saying that you have 4 children, and basically struggling and being a single mom. And trying to make it in the world. You said there was a point where you hit rock bottom. You didn't know what you were going to do.
Yeah.
So you went from rock bottom, basically, you know, homeless to the top. So I got to be honest with you. That I mean, to hear that is just like, wow, really? Like. And I know you're doing this on your podcast now, and you're helping people try to make their life better, showing them how to gain a voice, showing them how to build a resume, showing them how to land a good job, and showing them how to build from there. So you end up at I don't know, I'm trying to remember what age you go. You go from Detroit and you go down to Tampa. What age are you there?
I was in my early 20s. Like, well, yeah, I was about 20 something years old because I stayed in Detroit until shit, I don't even remember. I must have been like maybe 24, 25, something like that.
So in a 24, 25 mindset, it's difficult to move across or even move, I would say cross country, but down south. I mean, did you just say, you know what? I can't remember what made you go down there.
Yeah. I honestly, like at that point, I was just tired of being like in Detroit and I wanted more. Like I knew I had the potential to do more. And I was just like, all right, you know what? I booked a vacation with a couple of friends of mine, and in May for my birthday, we decided to go to Orlando. So we went to Orlando, had a girls trip. I had a great time. And I was like, oh my God, you know what? I think I'm gonna just pack my shit and I'm gonna just move here.
Right.
And I went back home. And honestly, my mom actually was, she was like behind the scenes because she wanted to move to Florida, but she didn't want to leave the grandkids. And her ex-husband at the time, or I can't say ex-husband, he's her widow, but he didn't want to leave Detroit because he had a business, he had all kinds of stuff. And so my mom was kind of like, "Ooh, if you go, then we'll end up following because we can't be without the grandkids." And I was like, cool. So, you know, we made a plan, and I went to Florida in May, and then I went back, and in June, I literally packed up my house, sold a bunch of stuff, just really left with like 2 suitcases. My mom stayed with the kids because it was during the summer, so they were on summer vacation. And I hauled ass. I had a cousin and her husband and her 3 kids who lived in a trailer in the middle of nowhere in Tampa. And I stayed with them for like the first I think I was with them for about 3 months while I got myself together, like found an apartment, found a job. And I was just tired. Like I knew I wanted to, like I always had this feeling inside of me since I was little that I was meant to do more. And like you said, to your point, like when that teacher told me, you're not going to amount to anything. Like you've got 2 kids already. Like what do you think you're doing? And I always said to myself, like, I don't want to be that statistic. I don't want to be that statistic.
That was your moment right there.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
So did
It's amazing.
the kids give you blowback? I mean, I know they're still little, but they're like, "Mommy, why are we moving?" Was that?
We were like, you know, kids are so resilient. Like, as long as you show them,
they
like,
can adapt real quick.
yeah, they're just,
Yeah.
all they thought about was like the beach, the pool.
They're
There's
going
no
to Disney.
Exactly. They're going to Disney. Like they're like, heck, they were. Like, we would go. We're
Right.
done. We're ready. But it was, you know, it was hard at first. I'm not gonna lie. Like there was times where I wanted to go back home to Detroit. I missed my friends. I missed my family. We lived in the boondocks.
How close were you? How about just packing up and going back home? How many times?
Like there's like. No, I came very close to like leaving. I was like, this isn't for me. This isn't like, what did I just walk into? Because we literally lived in an area that at that time was still being built out. It was like dirt road. There was
country.
Nothing. Yes, very country,
Yeah.
middle of nowhere. And I was like, oh, hell no. What did I just walk into?
Right.
Right.
So you're saying it's like kind of, I think you said somewhere outside Tampa, somewhere in Tampa.
Now, no, it's Wesley Chapel. So now people are a little bit more familiar because it's like now it's, you know, where they've built like these amazing houses and all this stuff. It's like a well up and coming community. But
Okay.
back then, nobody lived up there.
Nobody lived.
Right.
So you land a job at, I think you said a temp agency or a temporary position, and eventually you get hired, and then they promote you. You're the receptionist, and then all of a sudden, like you're the administrative assistant to, I think you said a VP or.
Yeah. So like when I moved to Florida, I landed a job at a tech agency. So what I got hired like to do, like help the recruiters, like build out the formats for resumes for like technical engineer roles. Cause a lot of like software engineers and tech engineers, their resumes are like very technical, and you've got to get it to a place where when you put it in front of a company or a recruiter, they can actually like go, okay, these are the skills that we're looking for. And it's very easy to read. So that's where I learned how to really like how to format resumes in a way that is presentable for people.
Okay.
And like I learned, you know, key tags and things like that. I stayed at that company for a little while until I realized that the CEO and the daughter were crazy. And then I was like, head out.
So while you're there, you're starting to move up the ladder. You meet your current husband.
Mm-hmm.
He has a child, and then you guys have 2 more children.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you said your mom got sick in, was it 2015?
Yeah, in 2000. Her initial diagnosis of cancer was 2013.
Okay.
That's when she originally got diagnosed. In 2015, the cancer came back like with a vengeance. Like there was no coming out of that.
So the biggest thing is, this is why you were, you guys were a family unit and you were staying in Florida, and then she passes, and like I said, I said I was sorry last night. Definitely sorry. It's definitely tough when you lose a parent to cancer. So
absolutely,
your mom passes, and you're like, hey, you know what? I need a change. So you apply for a job in Amazon in Washington or Seattle, Washington area. Yeah. They fly you out there, which is pretty cool because that's pretty cool. They fly you out there, you do the interview, and then you get home, and then they find out you're like, hey, you didn't get it.
I get the job.
And you instead of, once again, here's another breaking point. Instead of you crawling under a rock, you keep doing it, and then you just pack the kids up and you just move to Seattle and just say, do it. I'm going to go to Seattle.
I'm out.
We're out. We're going. I think you were saying you just really liked it there. Because, I mean, it's still nice weather, but it just rains a lot, you know. Like, I think, I'm like, damn, it rains a lot here.
Yeah, well, when they flew me out in 2015, it was, I remember we came, I think it was like end of March, beginning of April, and the weather was like beautiful. It was sunny. That's how
it tricked you. It tricked you.
I was like, oh my God, I want to come here. I want to live here. And I go back home and I'm like, you know, I was just tired of being in Florida. Like, I was like, I want to do something else. And in 2016 is when we finally decided, like, hey, you know what? I didn't get the job. Like you said, I didn't get the job. And I was like, all right, whatever. I ended up landing a role with another big 3 company, Ernst & Young. And then from there, I moved to another role at Booz Allen Hamilton, which is a government contracting agency. And that agency had an office in Seattle. And So in 2015, when my mom's cancer came back and I got denied from the job from Amazon, it was actually a blessing in disguise because I'm my mom's only child. And I was the person that was taking care of her. I was running her back and forth to appointments. I was like every step of the way, I was there and taking care of her. And so when in 2016, you know, after she passed away, that was like my turning point. And I was like, if there is ever a chance that I'm going to start fresh, this is it.
This is it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I, you know, we took, the older kids had moved out. They're all on their own. The little ones that lived with us, we decided like, all right, my mom passed away in June and in August, in June, I had applied for the job at Amazon and it takes a while for them to get back to you. Like, so throughout this process, I'm still working, but my goal was get to Seattle. And so I just kept on, you know, working, but what I ended up finding out was the company that I was at, they had an office in Seattle. And so, you know, I kind of played it off like, hey, my husband has to like move to Seattle because, you know, they offered him a role there. Can I like go there and still support you and work for you? And they were like, sure, you know, it'll just be a time difference. No big deal. And so
way to sell yourself.
Right.
For sure. That's awesome.
I had to spin it. I was like, I gotta make this work for me. So they were like, yeah, of course, no problem. And awesome. We left, let's see, on a Saturday at 4 a.m. from Florida. And we ended up in Washington State at 10 p.m. on Monday. And then we entered Seattle at 2 a.m. Tuesday morning, like early Tuesday morning. So we were hauling ass across the country.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I've been across country many, many times. Even Alex can attest to that. That's like even
I'll never do that shit again. I hated it.
Yeah.
How long is the drive? How many hours is that?
Normally, it would take you about 5 days, right? Like
about 5 days, right? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, we were doing 16-hour days, like driving. Straight 16 hours. Rotating. I think we stopped in 2 states, maybe. And then we were like, nah, I just wanted to hurry up.
I just gotta go.
I can tell you, like I said, I've been back and forth to Detroit a couple different times. And
yeah, same.
I've had some bad experiences. I mean, keys locked. The keys, I had a U-Haul and my cousin locked the keys in the car that I was pulling. I mean, just bad. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I'll never.
Yeah.
You know what's bad about it is that when you go from flat land and then you end up hitting, like, I remember Montana was the worst because it was like you're just going around the mountains. And I mean, that's when like my daughter got sick. I got sick.
Wow.
I mean, like, what the hell? Like pulling over, going up like this.
You're right. The elevation, the ears popping, nobody feels good. We're all eating antacids.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. I've been there.
So you're there for a while, and then you said, let me try to roll the dice again and apply for Amazon.
So here's the thing. When I was in Florida, I was already in communication with Amazon because they had called me and I started doing the phone screens. Because you go through like 3 phone screens, right? Like 3 different people. And then you talk to the hiring manager, and then they're like, okay, we want to bring you on site for an interview. So I talked to the hiring manager, and he's like, hey, so I said, listen, we're already moving to Seattle. Like, we'll be there next week. I said, it's going to take us 5 days to get there. So why don't I, let you know when I'm there, and we'll schedule the on-site interview. And he was like, okay, cool. Let me know when you get here, and we'll set it up. Well, that conversation happened. I think it was that Thursday before we left. And that Tuesday I was emailing him, and I'm like, hey, I'm here. And he was like, what?
How'd you get here so fast?
Surprise.
I'm like, no, we did. Like, I'm here. So at that point, they scheduled my on-site, and I did an on-site interview, and that's when I finally landed the job. So throughout that time, like, I was still working for the other company, and I officially, so we moved there in August. And we moved here in August, and then in September I started the job with Amazon.
Okay.
Nice.
And then, so what is the original job title that you got when you got hired?
The original title when I first started at Amazon, I was an executive assistant to the vice president for Fire TV. So everybody with the Fire TV, I was the person supporting that head of that whole product.
Right. And there was a big push at that time, probably.
There was
for Fire TV, because it was probably either launch, or you guys are going to launch it, or it's already been launched. So, it was a big push. So you guys were going nuts over there, probably trying to push.
Listen, the team when I joined, the team was like 250. In about 4 months from the time that I joined, the team blew up to 700.
Wow.
By at a year, we had over 1,200 plus people on this team.
Oh,
wow.
Goodness.
I'll tell you the coolest part about working on that team was I don't know if you guys have seen, there's a fire, I think they call it the cube now, the cube that you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I actually got to see that product from the ideation. Like, it's actually an idea on a piece of paper.
Right. Wow.
The actual guy that actually came up with the idea, he was on the team, and I used to talk to him all the time, and he's like, this is what we're building. And I got to see that go from like a piece of paper to
that's pretty cool.
Like on a shelf. I'm like, holy shit.
Wow,
like,
that's awesome. Super cool. Yeah.
It was cool. So I liked it.
Right.
That would have been really cool to see something from, like the first sketch to now that you see it in the stores. So what year was that when you guys were designing?
2016. So I started in September. I stayed on that team until July of 2018. And then Amazon has a thing like where when you're on the corporate side, and the FCs run a little bit different, the warehouses they run a little bit different. When you're on the corporate side, they're really big on like, find your passion, find what you like to do, like move around the company, like learn different things. We don't want you in the same role for more than 2 years.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
So, EA, though, executive assistants are a little bit different. They like their space. Like, this is what I like to do. Don't put me outside the box. This is my space.
Right.
That's just not me. That's never been me.
Right.
So as we're talking about Amazon, but there was a lot of potential growth. But some of the conversations that we had yesterday was, being a Latina, being a woman of color, you face a lot of adversities because, with sexual harassment, just whatever's going on. We talked about Governor Cuomo, just a lot of men, and I hate to say it, but white privileged men that are in power, that abuse power. And a lot, like you said, a lot of people don't have the voice or not afraid to fight back because they don't want to lose their job. You know what I mean? So that is, how stressful is it being in a corporate job, being a woman of color, a Latina, and faced with that on probably a daily basis? How difficult is that?
I can tell you it is so difficult because, first thing is like moving to Seattle. Seattle's very white.
Super white.
It's very white, right?
Super white. It's glowing white.
Yes. So when I joined, like one of the things I noticed immediately, I was like, there's nobody that looks like me on this team.
Right.
Like, what the hell are we doing about diversity and all that stuff? But for me, I think it was even more so of the fact that I put a lot of pressure on myself because I'm not your typical person who went to college and got a degree and all of these things. Like I always felt like I had to prove myself 10 times harder. So then add into that you're a Latina, add into that you're a woman of color, add into that you're just surrounded by a bunch of white people who are in power. And I have had mental breakdowns in my job, like literally have been in tears, have walked away, have like taken a medical leave. Like it's hard. It is hard work, to be the only in the room and have people like judging you just because of how you look, the color of your skin, the way you talk. And, I mean, I can't even I worked so hard to get a promotion. And after, 4 years of being there, I was finally promoted. And that at Amazon is a huge thing. Like the promotion process, you got to find people that are going to vouch for you. They have to write for you. And then your manager write a whole document, and then it has to be presented to people that you've never even worked with.
Right.
So it's hard.
Yeah, it's hard.
And I know we'll talk about this a little later. We'll get into your podcast a little later, but like I said, I did check it out, both episodes. And one thing that you had touched on when you started the job was that it was just, very awkward. There was no there was no friendliness, no laughter. No, it was just very awkward. And
I had
you still stuck around like this.
Yeah, you have to find, like, I had made a concerted effort. I'm gonna tell you something that I did that I haven't shared. I was so desperate to meet people that look like me that I ended up, there was like an email alias that we used to use for all the executive assistants. And I ended up like expanding that alias, and I would go, we have this internal tool that we would look at, and you could see, you have your picture and then you could see like a little blurb about them.
Right.
I was looking for all the people of color.
She was searching for colored profiles.
I was talking people.
Hey, whatever you got to do.
Right.
So,
come join the party.
Before you that you said, I said, how many years have you been there that you say your mentor took you under your and said, look, this is what you need to do, girl. You got to do this. You got to do that. What year is that?
I think that was in later 2017 is when I started thinking about, all right, Joyce, I don't want to be an executive assistant no more. I really need to make some money, because I knew there's money to be made, right? And I was like, so what's the next level? And I met, I had two mentors that were like really, really just took me under their wing and were like, we're going to show you how to get there. I honestly had so much self-doubt. And I think that's something that women struggle with. And even more so when you're a Latina and you're in this space and you're like, I don't know if I could do this job. And both of these women were just so, like, I can't even explain. Like, I get emotional when I talk about them, because they literally said, Joyce, you can do this job. Stop questioning whether you can be a program manager. It's basically what you do now is just at another level. And this is where the money is at. And this is how you're going to do it. And they started, introducing me to other people. And the thing about corporate America, especially in big tech, it's about the networks that you make, the people that you connect with. It's about networking. It's getting to know people in different parts of the organization that are key people. So like one of my mentors had been at Amazon at that time already, like 7 years, 6 or 7 years. The other one had been there a couple of years. But even though at Amazon, she was, well known and stuff, outside of Amazon, she was a trailblazer. Like she's an author, she's doing things. And I made it a point to surround myself around the people. I always talk about the fact that you need to surround yourself around the people that are like levels above you.
Above you. Mm-hmm.
Right. To like to get there. And it's not so much of like you trying to be like them. It's more of like, I want to learn from you. Like teach me all the things.
Yes, I say if you're the most successful person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And that was like people took their wings. They're like, no, we're gonna teach you all the ins and outs. They started connecting with people. And then one of my mentors had a role open up on one of her teams. And she was like, I'm putting you up. And she went and talked to, you want to talk about talking to the people of power. She went straight to the VP and was like, this is your girl. And I'm going to mentor her and she's going to be a clone of me, but she's going to do it better. So you need to hire her. And in Amazon, when you transfer inside, you really just do like, you don't go through the whole interview process. You actually just talk to the hiring manager and some of the team members. And if they feel like you're a good fit, then they just bring you onto the team.
That's your title. Wow.
Right.
Did. And she was like, all right. So that was I officially got the job in 2018. And that started my role in like program management and, got me to what I'm doing now.
So that had to feel pretty great, like you said, because you were kind of doubting yourself, and then you had everybody needs help, and they lifted you up, and then you were like probably like, oh my God, I got it now. Now what though? Then you're like again, now
this money.
Okay. Right.
That's what I was concerned about. I'm like, you're gonna make that money. That's what I want.
That's
when I get my first check.
I'm gonna be honest with you. When I got that role, I mean, the first month I was like, okay, cool. By the second month, I was like, I hate this shit. I hate it. I don't want to do this.
Like, what was I thinking?
Wow.
I did, because it was like, part of it was, to your point, about having to deal with like I had to deal with microaggressions. I had to deal with people questioning things that I was doing because, they're like, oh, you don't really know what you're doing. Like, you just pretend. And I'm like, no, I know what the hell I'm doing. Like, having to like,
there was just so much that went into it.
Yeah.
And then it was like, you're like, oh man, like
I'm like questioning you. Like, I'm gonna need you to mind your business.
I have plenty of those. I call them. I have plenty of come to Jesus meetings with a whole lot of because
hey, you know what? That's a shirt. That's a shirt.
That is a shirt. Sometimes you gotta have a come to Jesus meeting with somebody. Let them really know.
Exactly.
So, I know you talk about it, but you're always telling that you have to, basically, use your voice. But there was a lot of important content into what you just said. So definitely, people have to learn how to build relationships, and you were able to build relationships, be able to market yourself, maybe to access this mentor, be like, oh, because they, people notice you from that are, higher up, and they start noticing you if they say, you know what, that's special. Let me, you know what I mean? Let me mentor you or whatever. So it's definitely all about building relationships. And I know that you probably talk about that on your podcast, how to make yourself better, how to market yourself, how to brand yourself. So definitely very important. So you're in this role, you said 2018. So when do you start where you want to do the natural me?
The naturally me. That was in 2017. I think after a year being here, I realized like, I can't wear my hair straight every day because it's raining here. And what the hell am I going to do? And then, the other piece that I was like really starting to struggle with was, I'm tired of trying to like fit in with these people and make myself like look like them so I can be accepted. So I'm just going to really start like appreciating authentically who I am. And so like part of that was like, I'm gonna start rocking my natural hair. Now you don't see it today because I had to put it in a protective towel. But I was like, I'm gonna start rocking my natural. Plus, my hair was starting to fall out. Like I had so much damage, from the heat, from the bleeding, from all of that stuff. And I was like,
all of it, yeah.
Right. yeah, so I was like, what can I do? So I started like on Instagram. My original Instagram was like JB motivates you. And I used to do a lot of like motivational speaking and talking to people and stuff like that. But people started asking me about my hair. And I was like, well, what the hell? Can I just kind of can I merge these two together? Like, can I do motivational stuff and at the same time, like teach people, learn how to do my hair? I didn't know what the hell I was doing when I started. I'm gonna be honest. I was like watching people on Instagram, all the curly girls with the really pretty hair, and I was like, why when I do my hair, it don't look like that? And I was getting frustrated. Right. Like, damn it. But eventually I started figuring it out, and I started connecting with some really great people in the curly community. And they embraced me, and they were just like, girl, you need to just show up on like rock your natural hair. And if you're I'm probably gonna say like if you're Puerto Rican or Dominican, there is this huge stigma about wearing your hair curly in that community. You are raised to that straight hair is how you show up. It's the good hair. It's how you present yourself in the corporate world and anywhere else. So my mom, when I was little and I used to want to wear my hair curly, she used to be like, where the hell you think you're going with that hair? Go brush your hair. So growing up, I always felt like the only way that I could really feel, pretty or beautiful or accepted was wearing straight hair. Mm-hmm. So that kind of led me in 2017 when I finally moved here, and I was like, it's always raining. My hair is damaged. It was falling out. I need to take care of my hair. And that's when I started the journey of curly hair. And like, I even have a blooper on my Naturally Me page of a video that I was trying to do a deep conditioning at home because I was trying to follow everybody. I was like, oh, she put a banana and she put some egg and conditioner. And I put little pieces of banana in my hair.
You had a whole fruit salad in your hair.
So did it work?
No. It took like 2 days to get the shit out of my hair.
It smelled delicious though.
So if I can ask you, did your husband witness this?
Did he what?
Witness this? Did he see what you were doing?
Oh, yeah, he saw the smells. He was like,
"Girl, what you doing?"
He was like, "You smell like a salad."
He did. But you know what? He was supportive. He was like, I love the curly hair. Like, I don't even know why you keep straightening your hair. It smells burnt every time you straighten it. Like, it's like, what the hell? I'm like, all right. So that kind of started the journey. I found the community, and then I just like really started trying to figure out how do you create content. And when you're first starting, I will tell you this, the community can be good to you and it can be really bad to you. Cause you got some influencers that think they're like, I'm not going to tell you anything. Just figure it the hell out on your own. Or you don't get insider tips. But I luckily, maybe because I'm just a people person. So like I connected with really good people and they were like, let me tell you how to do this. Let me tell you how to do that. One of my best friend now, like I met her through the curly community. Like that's how we met, that's cool. And she's here living in Washington now. And it's like, so it's like I found people that really accepted me. And honestly, I think that's what has helped me like continue to still be in this all white state.
Absolutely.
Right. You don't have to send out emails anymore.
Hey, that is funny.
It is too.
That's awesome.
2017, 2018. Awesome. When do you actually have this conversation with your hubby and say, hey, we should start a podcast, talk about our kids, talk about what's going on?
Some BS.
My kids and BS. That was, I think, in 2019 is when we started it. Part of it was because like I've always been like fully transparent about just shit that I talk about on Instagram. Like people really
say you were trying to convert that from Instagram to a podcast. Okay,
yeah. So like people are really drawn to authenticity. Like and you can tell, and I've met people that like on behind the screen, they're one way, and when you meet them in person, they're like completely different. And you're like, I thought you was cool. Like, what? You don't know how to interact.
Right. You're like, what happened?
What happened? Like behind the screen, you're like and all this fun stuff. You meet them in person, they're like,
yeah.
you know, like, all right. So people really started to like connect and like, oh my God, your family, you guys are funny. Like, you know, we got references to like the Kardashians because we just do crazy stuff, not because we look anywhere like them, but like there's always something happening in my household, right? And like when everybody gets together, it's just a shit show. I just call it a shit show. It is what it is. So I was like, you know what? We were like, he loves podcasts. And I was like, why don't we just start one and start just talking shit? Like we can talk about life. We can talk about our kids. You know, we can roast our kids.
That's cool.
And I was like, and we could, you know, just talk about, you know, stuff that we're dealing with as a married couple. And like, cause we have went through a lot of stuff. And so I think it was in 2019, we decided like, here's a crazy part. So now I can just do a podcast on my computer with microphone, like, you know, and I can get some other stuff, right? We went crazy and bought all
of it.
I mean, we had 4 microphones. We got the mixer. We got we had a whole room set up for the podcast.
You're like, damn, now we need a producer.
Isn't that what everybody does when they start a podcast, though? They're like, I got to get all the shit. I need it all. Here I am in my car on my phone with my headphones.
Right. And that's why the first microphone I bought was like $60, I think.
Yes.
I bought a bunch of expensive ones and arms and all kinds.
Yes.
I bought a condenser microphone, right?
Yeah, all of it.
The little what the heck is that? I don't even know what the hell the name of this
popper stopper.
Yeah, that thing.
Oh yeah.
Now it's all sitting in a freaking box and underneath the damn stairs over there because ain't nobody putting all that crap.
Nope.
So
you need a phone and a ring light. That's it. A computer and a ring light.
So you tell me you get some traction. You guys do for about 5 months, and you kind of step away. You said personally you had some healing to do. You know, you've had some bad relationships from the past. You know, definitely everyone goes through it. We have our toxic relationships. We have kids with people we shouldn't have kids with. And you're trying to deal with it because you're currently married to somebody that's probably your right fit, but it took you a couple times to get it right. And then you're trying to, you know, make him understand or make her understand, hey, you got to work with me because I'm, you know, everybody's nuts, right? Everybody's nuts. And we're like, well, everybody's nuts. You got to find your nuts to put up with that.
You're crazy.
Yeah, you got to find your crazy. Yeah. So, I don't know what is this. I got to read this London radio channel called Meghan, and we're on. Okay, yeah. I think we were going to talk about this, but so you step away. You told him go ahead and do it, but he decides he's done, right? Because he's like, I'm done.
I mean, I think he's gonna restart it at some point.
Back in the box.
You know, yeah. He was too much work, but you know, it is hard to do a podcast by yourself, right? Like, I'm realizing that it's not as fun when you got people to talk to and bounce back ideas. And
that's
stuff.
why I'm trying to find the corner. That's why I call that guy.
Yeah, it's hard to do it by yourself. I attempted by myself, and it's just not as fun.
It's not as fun. It's not as fun.
I mean, it's there, and if you have the right topics, and you can get some guests, and if you find your niche, but it's still when you want to talk about everything, you're like, okay, do I start answering myself now? Right. Like, I'm looking crazy.
Laughing at your own stuff.
This is on the screen.
Right.
We'll talk about it. We'll come back. So, what is your thoughts of what's going on at the palace? You know, me and Tori had this conversation. Me and Alex. I just got to be honest.
What was going on at the palace?
Yeah,
I got notes. Okay, I got all kinds of.
I already know you was ready to talk about it today. And
so, looking in, I mean, she knew that she was marrying, you know, royalty, and they're a bit racist. I mean, you know what I mean? They're gonna have a problem with a woman that's half black, half white, whatever. I mean, there's conspiracies. Did they get rid of Diana? Is she next? You know what I mean? There's so many different things. And then I didn't even read this, but someone chimed in. Did you guys hear about the radio station called Meghan the N-word?
I didn't hear about that yet. I've seen the Piers Morgan, how he stormed off. I saw the other guy, I forgot what his name was, and he was like, talking about it, but I haven't heard. I did not hear about that. But this is next. First of all, I was in tears watching that. I really felt for her. I really felt for her because I have been in that situation. Like, I'll be honest with you, I didn't ever really think about. I knew racism existed. I knew that there were a lot of things in the world that needed to be fixed. Right. But it wasn't until I moved to Seattle that I really
experienced it. Yeah, and saw it. Yeah.
Right.
So, coming from Detroit, New York, like, you got a mixture of people. You come here, you're like, oh, you're nice in my face, but you really hate my guts.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking to myself. So I thought Seattle would be more, even though you say it's white, but it's more liberal there, correct?
It is a liberal, yes, it is very liberal, but there is a lot of passive aggressive people here. So they don't, us coming from the D, we're very straight up. I'm gonna tell you straight up what my is. I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. I'm gonna just tell you straight up, right? Here, when you do that, you're seen as aggressive, and you're seen as a threat or whatever. So people here, it's different. It's very liberal, but they're like, hey, we're nicey nice and we care about these things, and Black Lives Matter. But in reality, they're like, don't go too far. I mean, that's part of the reason why I don't really even have a crew of friends here, because people are the Seattle freeze. If you Google the Seattle freeze, it is very real.
So you get a guy that's in office that doesn't no longer nice to your face. He'll tell you up front, I'm speaking about Trump. So he tells you he's a racist. So I mean, you know that it exists, but now you have the president of the United States is a racist, and you see him being a racist, and you see all this erupting around the country. I mean, just the country's turning upside down on its head. What's your thoughts living in Seattle? Because you're like, wow, this is not only going across the country, but now it's in my face because it's here in Seattle.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
My thoughts was, what can I do to help this community?
Okay.
And that's one of the reasons why, while I was at Amazon, my next role that I moved into was in the diversity, equity, and inclusion space. Was, what can I do to not only help, the Black community, but even us as Latinos? What can I do to help people understand the damage that's being done internally at Amazon? Because they talk about we want to fix all these things on the outside, but you need to fix the house inside before you go working on the stuff on the outside.
Right.
And my thoughts was just this is so sad. This has been going on for years. And, part of me was I don't want to say glad or nothing to that effect, but it was more of this needed to happen in order for people to understand the importance of where people have ended up because of this. And so now, Trump, honestly, he basically just he just exposed the racists.
He just made them okay to show their racism. They were always there, but now he just made them comfortable with it.
They were always the Seattle people, nice to your face.
Oh yeah.
Behind you. So they were always.
I'm much rather you just be into my face to know.
Right. The community that I live in is a predominantly white community, right? And I can even tell you, I'm a part of their Facebook group, and I just watch some of the stuff. Some of the stuff that said, I'm y'all are some real closet racists.
Wow.
They'll do community shit. I'm I don't want to go to that. Knowing what you just. I'm no, I'm good. good.
Right.
Oh, that's over here.
So
Yeah.
contradicting. That's crazy.
I'm gonna stay over here. I'm gonna head out.
Good. I'm good. I'm good on
Right.
that.
Good.
So, we talked about it last night, and I don't know if you got a chance to Google it or to look it up. So then you have a company like Coke that says we need you to be less white. I mean, I just don't know. Like I said, there's so many things that I feel like the country's out of whack, and sometimes we're in the twilight zone. I think some people, they're getting too sensitive. With a lot of different stuff. You got Mr. Potato Head that becomes potato. You got Pepe Le Pew that is Axe from the new movie. You just crazy stuff.
Yeah.
What is your thoughts on some of that stuff? That you think people are sensitive? You got Dr. Seuss's books that I grew up on now are removed from the shelves. So
Right.
I mean, so many crazy stuff.
Yeah, I think for me, I don't like to go with the trend. I like to do the research. So when things like that come up, I'm like, okay, I want to go back and learn the history of where did this come from, right? Because I think that here's the thing, when we were in high school, whatever, we were taught American history, right? We really didn't learn about the real shit that really led to their purpose now.
Stuff
right?
we had to learn on our own.
Exactly. Right? So for me, some of the stuff is a little sensitive. Like, some of the stuff, I started seeing some stuff about women and like and other communities wanting us to change certain things that, I don't know, everything from like the pads to breastfeeding. It should be chest feeding. Like there's certain things that women do. Okay. Like you can't change that. So like certain things like that, I'm like, this is getting a little crazy.
Yeah, the chest feeding thing was crazy.
Yeah, I saw that. Wait a minute. But when it comes to, I'll give you an example. I ended up down a rabbit hole on Twitter, and I don't even know how I got there. But this lady was singing a song about the 10 little monkeys, right? And then and actually it was a TikTok that was posted on Twitter. And then the other lady, she was doing the back and forth. She's like, oh, no, don't sing that. And she was like, well, why? Like everybody sings this song. Wow. Well, she started talking about the Black Minstrel Show and like how that came to be. And so I was like, what? Let me go. So I started reading and I ended up in this rabbit hole of all these children's audio songs that we have been growing up with, like Jimmy Crack Corn and little, monkeys. You learn the history of where it came from. And so much so, I don't even know if you guys know this, but in this rabbit hole that I ended up in, I ended up learning that the makers of Monopoly, one of their first games that they actually created was called The 10 Little Ends.
Wow.
I want to go down this rabbit hole.
Okay, so this is what
That's why I love doing research, because you'll find out.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm in my car. I'm gonna drive there right now.
That's
I'm
why
ready to go.
I'll send you the article. So this
Girl,
guy, this guy ended up, he's trying to bring back children's audio because, kids now are exposed to like all the adult songs and all that stuff. So he's like, I want music for children that doesn't have a racist undertone, that doesn't have all these things it ties back to. And so my point of view is don't jump on the bandwagon and just be like, oh, we're not doing this no more because whatever. Go do the research and learn the history, come educated yourself, then stand up for what you believe in. And you have a difference of opinion, and that's okay. Some people are like, oh, it's too much. Some people might be like, no, shit, I get it. Like if that was me, I would be comfortable.
Absolutely.
So, I'm going to give you an example, and we talked about it in the past. The Good Humor Bar, ice cream bar, the truck. The original song their jingle was racist, and Wu-Tang changed it because they were making fun of little black kids, watermelons, and stuff like that. So, a lot of that stuff existed, but we just, we didn't know any.
We didn't know.
Right.
And again, like, why are we teaching these things in school?
Right.
Exactly.
So I think
but even more so, why are people being made to feel like because we now want to find out the truth that we're being sensitive? Not everything means that we're being sensitive. It's that we are changing the way we were taught, because maybe the way we were taught was bullshit, you know? So
Pretty much was.
and I'm not saying that not everything is that people being sensitive, because again, the whole like you said, the chest feeding, the breastfeeding, some of it's just like, okay, that's just absurd. Like, this is a female anatomy. Like, okay, like even when men have breasts, it's not that not a man has a chest, a woman has breasts. No, everybody has a breast, which the chest is what it's called, area, But to be made to feel that you're being sensitive when you're really standing up for, an injustice that's happening to people, or that things that we didn't know, I think that in itself is, just selfish in general. Like, you should want to make these changes, but
right, absolutely.
No, like you were saying that we were taught a lot of that stuff. I think needs to be looked at. How American history is taught. We need to tell not just what happened, the good, but also the ugly. You know what I mean? So they can see it out there. And a lot of those books haven't changed for 50, 60 years. They just reprinted them. So we're going to go back to your Amazon career. So you're at Amazon. You're doing really well. You're moving places. You're getting these promotions. And then I guess COVID hits, right?
Yeah.
And so you're working from home?
I've been working from home since February, since the beginning of COVID of 2019.
2019.
Every day.
All day. Is Seattle, Washington, did it come to the mask thing or not? Or, because I know Michigan right away, she came down and is like, no mask, we got to wear masks. In Arizona, they're like, whatever. And
Arizona, they didn't care.
Yeah, we didn't care.
Arizona was like
willy-nilly.
Texas, what Texas is now. Texas is like, yo, we done.
We done, yeah. And that's in the media. They were saying that that a lot of I don't know if you saw that, Tori, a lot of the big businesses downtown, they want their employees to come back. And they're not talking about tomorrow, but they're talking about by April. And I'm like, what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, we're not ready. You know what I mean? So this state really wants to open up totally, go back to fucking normal, which there's no normal anymore, right?
Right.
So they just want to go back to normal. So how's COVID in Seattle? How is it there?
So we went in immediate, I think like 3 weeks after like it really started getting serious, we went into lockdown. And so like everything shut down. And the governor was like, nobody's doing nothing. Like, I was so paranoid. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was getting groceries delivered, and then they would leave them at the door, and I would like go and like wipe down the whole bag, all the crazy.
Yeah.
So we went into complete lockdown, and then it started lifting. So they opened like dining back up. You could go to dine and whatever, and outside and all that stuff. Then we went back into lockdown again. So like we went, backwards because the cases were going up and all this other stuff. Now we're back into like what they call phase 2. So we can, like our gyms are open. We can go dine in, and you can sit inside and dine in and stuff. And now they're really just pushing the vaccine. Like they're just like, we're really trying to get it to everybody as quickly as possible. Everybody get vaccinated, and like that's where we stand now. But still,
you hit on something. So the $1 million question: are you going to get the vaccine?
I have been thinking about it, and quite honestly, like I'm about to be 44. I'm like, I've done a lot of things. I mean, I might as well just get the vaccine, like, because this is what I feel is going to happen. What's going to end up happening is it's going to be pretty much mandated, and you ain't going to be able to do any. And we're already starting to see it because CDC already came out and said, "Hey, the people that got the vaccines, hey, y'all can hang out together. You don't need a mask."
Yeah. That's, and I was going to ask you that too. I mean, like, did you hear anything about that?
I saw an app that launched that said it would have your vaccine, and you would see like the date when you got it, and your first one, your second one. It's gonna be your entrance to airlines. It's gonna be your entrance to concerts, stuff like that. So you're not gonna be able to do anything if you don't have a vaccine.
You don't have a vaccine. And it's crazy because it's like one side of me is like, well, man, I don't know. What are they injecting into you?
Right.
You know,
kind of like,
you know, and I know there's a lot of talk about women and infertility, and I'm like, well, I ain't trying to have more kids.
I know.
Right.
Funny guy. So there was a guy in New York, and I said to these guys, he got his vaccine. He had a hard on for 4 hours, and they didn't know what was going on. So, I want that fact. I just
you want that.
So just let you know.
I heard today, and this is so crazy, but a friend of mine works for the city, and she said 2 city officials got the vaccine, their first dose, and they got COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
And yes, yeah.
Yep,
She told me that earlier today.
I've heard.
I'm like, okay, now what?
Yeah.
So how's the hubby feel? How are you getting the little? Your little ones are 16 and what'd you say, 8, 17 and 8, 11. Are you making them get them, or are you going to get mama? Mama's going to get it first.
I think I honestly, I think I'm probably just going to end up doing it, like, just because they're actually, so the kids now are doing hybrid. So they're in school 2 days a week. They actually go on site, go to school, and then they do asynchronous work the other 3 days at home. So I just find it weird because, like, I've traveled. I've been on planes. I've been to Puerto Rico. I've been to Mexico twice. We've been, and I mean, I honestly feel like I probably had COVID before people knew it was COVID, because I got really sick in December of 2019, like really sick.
A lot. So many people have said that. And several friends that all say that they definitely had it. Anywhere from October to January of 2019 to January 2020, they all said they had it.
Yep. So I don't, I'm just kind of like, maybe I mean, I don't know. But I honestly, like, I'm at a point where if it's going to hinder me from being able to do the things that I want to do, like, I love traveling. Listen, then just give me the damn thing. And you know what? Like, we're all going to end up 6 feet under at some point.
Listen, I feel safer traveling to the airport than I do going to, like, Walmart. Like, it's way safer.
Exactly.
The airport is empty. They're super cautious. They take your temp. It's a little sketchy getting on that plane with everybody packed in there, but a lot of the airlines are having it so that there's nobody sitting in the center. I just put a blanket over me and build like a little tent. And I sit by the window. I don't sit in the aisle. Usually I want to sit by the aisle, right? Because I want to be like free. But no, I sit by the window and I make myself like a little, COVID tent. And I'm good. And I feel way safer doing that with my fleece blanket than I ever do going to the grocery store or to Walmart.
And a lot don't know this, and I know most of the airlines have a really good filtration system that allows it to kill bacterias, kill diseases and stuff like that, just because they know people that are sick and get on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so you're in a tube.
Yeah. Well, the good thing now is, like, when you travel international, you can't even come back into the U.S. until you have a COVID test. So, like, when I went to last month. But it's crazy, though, because, like, they have it very well, like, they know the business in Mexico. Like, when we were leaving, we literally, like, they took us to the airport. There's a tent. You go to that tent. You get your test, 30 minutes. You got your results. You get on the plane.
Right.
And you have to get there 30 minutes even sooner, or what's the deal?
To be honest with you, we were sitting at the airport for hours because it was that quick.
Yeah, they have it down pat.
They have it, like, it's just like, I mean, better than the US.
My girlfriend said the resorts that she went to, you go in, they test you, they do all that. They put you through this little machine that sprays you, all of it. They ain't playing.
Yeah.
She said it was great. And then they hand you a drink and you're good.
Yep. They do. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the new normal is, but I do feel like the people who end up deciding not to vaccinate are the people who are just going to be basically, like, exiled from being able to do anything. Like, you're just not going to be able to. So, for me, my personal preference is, like, I don't want to stop living my life because, I don't know if this is happening. Like, let's just get it over with. And
Right.
We'll see. Even though I can't get back.
We're all gonna die together.
So, like I said, COVID hits, you got a lot of time on your hands, just like we did, and I think you I don't know if someone reached out to you and said, "Hey, girl, you need to just start a podcast." So you just said, "You know what? I'm gonna go back to a podcast, but it's going to be me only. You're going to be talking about mental issues. You're going to be talking about voicing your own voice, how to land a job." I mean, I know you're going into, you said you're fourth now? Fourth or
This
third?
is my third episode.
Third. So, you know, I love it because you were like, your second one, I'm going to be dropping a lot of gems in this. I love that because you were like, tune in or whatever. So you got people on the edge. What is your thoughts process on this one being different than the one from when you did it with your husband? What's the biggest?
I think the biggest difference is me. I'm at a point now where I've healed from a lot of things, and I can really provide that authentic experience and not feel like, hey, I'm saying this, but I'm not really feeling this.
Right.
So, like, I think we talked about, like, this podcast for me is about sharing my story, and there's a lot of stuff that I haven't shared here, and that you'll hear in the podcast, stuff that I went through, like. I think I told you, like, at one point I hit rock bottom. Like, I was completely homeless at one point. And how did I get past that? And, like, how do I get to the point of, being in the room with people that are powerful people that are making decisions and things like that. So, like, this podcast is different because it's more of about me inspiring people to know that they too can get there. And I want to show them and create the access, but I don't want it to come from a point of like, hey, this is what you do. Like, go read this book and you'll figure it out. It's more of like, hey, I went through this shit and now I'm going to tell you how I went through it. Take your notepad out, like I said in my podcast, write this shit down so you can get some tips. If you want to get it, if you decide, hey, you know what, I don't have a degree. I wonder if I can get into tech. I wonder if I can get Google or Amazon or Microsoft or Facebook. Like, how do I get there? I want to inspire those people to be like, you know what? Shit, she did it. I know I can. Let me start writing these things down on how I connect with people, you know, and I talked about that on the last podcast was, using the powerful resources that are free. They're like right in front of you.
LinkedIn.
How do you sell yourself? How do you network? Like, I want to share those things from an authentic experience and not from like a place of like, go read this book and then you have the whatever, right? Like, you see me and be like, that's me. And I want people to resonate. And that's, where the melanation came from was like, I wanted it to be focused more on the people of color because they're the ones that are struggling. They're the ones that are hit the hardest during COVID, right? Like, they're trying to survive for their business. They're trying to survive for their family. They're trying to like figure out where can I make some extra coins. And I think to your point, Enrique, when we talked yesterday, we have this like hustle vibe, right? I feel like anybody that grew up in Detroit, we have that hustle vibe. Like, we turn everything into money somehow, some way. We're going to get them coins and that's it.
By any means possible.
Right? Exactly.
Right.
I mean, that's what I want to do is inspire people across the world to know that like you too can do this and you stop holding yourself, like holding yourself back because you don't have something, like I talk about at some point in my podcast, I'll talk about like the college degree thing. Not everybody is meant for college. And some people don't got the money to send their kids to college. Right. So what about trade schools? What about actually figuring out how you get the hands-on skills? What about finding a mentor that's going to walk you through that process and get you in front of the right people, and it's going to get you connected to someone that's in power or has a seat at the table, and they're going to fight for you to make sure that you get in there. Like, what about that? And so that's what I wanted to do with this podcast. And that's what's different about it. It's really just my real life experiences, what I learned, and I'm just sharing it so that other people can learn and figure out, how do they do it. Well,
you made me write down, like I said, I loved them both. You made me write down top 3 things that make me happy. I might have to go back to that and change one thing maybe, but
congratulations. That's awesome.
I thought that was pretty cool.
I love every bit of it.
Absolutely.
I want to thank you for coming on the show. I wanted to bring up one topic that I know we were going to talk about, but Breonna Taylor, a boyfriend, all charges were dropped. When you heard that, what was your thoughts?
I'm just sad. I'm just sad. I'm just sad because this is just a constant blow to the community. It's a constant.
I want to cry just hearing it.
I mean, and in the work that I'm doing,
yeah,
it's even harder because the work that I do now is to help be the voice for those people.
Right.
So now when I go into work, it's like I have to go check on my colleagues and go, how are you doing?
Right.
How are you feeling? Because let me tell you something. There are some people who just they don't have the empathy and they don't care. They don't care. It doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect me. So you know what? I don't care. It should affect you. You should be thinking about these things. You know, I remember being in a conference one time, and I will never forget the most powerful moment in that room was there was a set of white males, and then there was a set of people of color. And they were talking about the difference of their experiences in their everyday life. Wow. And the Black woman said, so the white man said, hey, you know, I get up every day. I make sure my kids, you know, have their cereal and they get ready for school and they're going out the door and I get them to school and they're fine. And, you know, that's my day. And the Black woman said, well, you know, I get up and I have to make sure that my son doesn't wear a certain type of hoodie. I have to tell him to make sure that he, you know, dresses a certain way, that if he gets stopped, you know, by a police officer, what to say. Like there are so many things that go through my head before we walk out that door.
For sure.
Right? Because my concern is what I live for is I want to make sure that my son walks back in that door. Mm-hmm. And that man, that white man in that moment, like he cried. And he was like, I didn't know that that's your experience. Like, I don't get it. And I think people need to learn how to be empathetic and like, you know, just learn how to listen and like hear the pain of people. Like this is what is happening constantly. Right. And it's not
right. And it can happen to them too as well.
Exactly.
So, I mean,
exactly. And just because it doesn't affect you doesn't mean that you just get to walk around and be like, you know, I don't care. Like we need to care. Wow. We need to care because you know our kids, they're watching this. They're like, and it could be any one of us, anyone. And I speak for even you know the Latin community. Like I'm dealing with conversations now where I'm dealing with people who are like, well, I don't got to deal with that. Like I'm not worried about it. That's the Black people. You know it's them. It's like no, it's affecting all of us.
It's a human
and they're just as guilty. Silence is just as guilty.
Exactly.
If anything, it's worse. It's been in 3 days. It'll be 1 year since Breonna was murdered. In 3 days, it's already been 1 year, and I just thinking about it makes me want to cry. And to know that still has no charges for him. Oh, hello.
Hey,
okay, and then
you're breaking up, but I can hear you.
Okay, and instead of charges for her murder, there were charges for bullets being shot in the neighbor's apartment and harming the neighbor's apartment. So the neighbor's walls got more justice than Breonna did. And I am so sorry to her and her mother and the entire community. It's heartbreaking. But to take a whole year to clear her boyfriend, and there's still a lawsuit that he filed for immunity that it's pending on certain things, and it's just absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
I'm sure they're not going to give up, but yeah.
Oh no, they're not going to, but it's still not going to bring her back. Right. She was murdered, and she was a good soul. She did not deserve that. And so many. I mean, we could go down the list of good souls that didn't deserve what they got through police brutality and the people who make it okay to fucking silence them.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah.
Well, and I think that's what's
Terrible.
wrong with the country. I mean, you hit it. There's just not people being empathetic to everybody's. You know, everybody has different problems. Everybody has different lives. They live different things. You know, we talked about it yesterday. White privilege. You know, if you were storming the Capitol, you wouldn't have made it that far. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Okay. Oh,
hell no. Everybody would have been shot.
Right.
Nobody would even have made it to the wall. The
So
fucking wall would have been in the distance.
people need to know we all live. We're in the same United States, but we live different lives depending on where we are and what color we are. So, but like I said, I want to thank you for coming on the show. Please plug all your stuff, your Truly and your new podcast, your Instagram. Go ahead. This is you.
So you can follow me on Instagram. It's Naturally Me. It's NATRULYME. The podcast is Melanation Motivation Podcast. It's on iTunes, Spotify, and I don't even know where else because I'm just starting out. And then I have a podcast.
It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. And then the podcast Instagram page is melanation_motivation_podcast. So just feel free to follow, and I'm super excited. Thank you so much for the time for me being here and sharing my story. And yeah, I look forward to
everybody tune in. She's got some great stories.
Yes, I can't wait.
Yeah, I can't wait to. I'm already subscribed, so I can't wait to. I can't wait to listen to your stories, and I'll definitely be sharing for sure. I'm forever follower now.
She's got a playground fight that hopefully. When are you calling that playground fight? When are you going to talk about it?
Oh my God! Listen.
Oh, I can't wait to hear it.
We're gonna get there. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna talk about that story and like what do I want people walking away knowing from that story.
Right.
But
can't jump too. You want to jump too far?
Yeah,
like too far back or ahead.
Gotta build it.
Yeah.
Feed them in. Just keep feeding them in. Because I loved it. I love them.
I can't wait to hear it, and thank you so much for coming on. And make sure you send me that link to the rabbit hole.
Yes, I will send it to you. I will make sure.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just want to say congratulations on the promotion and everything, the new job and everything.
Yeah.
She's at Sonos now. She said sending everybody speakers right now.
Yeah, I actually
online.
Yeah, I actually went to the website and I seen some speakers that I'm a big speaker guy, Bluetooth guy.
Yeah.
We just dropped a new one. It's called Room, and it's like I hear it's pretty dope. I still have we have one that we actually bought, but I'm waiting on the one, you join the team and they send you stuff. Right. So but I love what it stands for and what it does. So we'll see how it goes.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Be safe.
Be safe.
Bye.
God bless.
I don't know why my daughter's saying good night. It's only 7:52. She's already texting me. So no, definitely. You guys tune in.
Tell you good night in a minute. Shit.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap up. I know you got to go to bed. You got to go meet me.
Man, Tori's sitting in the middle of nowhere. We got to get her home safe.
Okay, so I'm sitting in front of a park looking like a creeper, and people people keep driving past me, and they just slow down and stare in my car, and then they see that I'm on the phone, so they're like, "Oh, she's not a pedophile."
No, just start licking the window. See what they do.
Write something. I am though. I'm in a there's a bunch of houses right here, but there's a park. So,
okay.
Just as long as the cop doesn't pull up, we're cool.
As soon as it comes up. So
if he pulls up, we're putting him on the show.
Oh, you're gonna have to put. I was about to say, yeah, you're gonna. Oh boy.
Oh boy. So I know you texted me this. So his anniversary of his death was that yesterday? Notorious B.I.G.
Yeah, March 9th.
March 9th.
Remember the rap?
Yeah, March 9th, 24 years.
Rapper of all time died on March 9th.
Yeah, it feels like he died yesterday, to be honest with you. I got to.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, did you guys watch the Netflix documentary? I did. I thought it was awesome.
I did.
Watch it.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome.
Good. There was some stuff that some footage that I never got to see, so I was like, oh, this is really cool. I thought it was. You got to watch it, Alex. It's on Netflix. You haven't seen
I'll get to it.
you haven't seen it, definitely watch it.
Watching so
The
much
last
other stuff.
couple things that I know we got to go, so we're going to try to hurry up. So we talked about it. Breonna Taylor boyfriend charges were finally dropped. We talked about, and I wanted to ask you guys. So what's your thoughts on the Pepe Le Pew being axed from Space Jam?
I don't really have no comment on it. Just another. I look like it's another oddball story, man. Somebody trying to get.
So I mean, I sent you all those
mixed feelings.
One every
I think
day.
I have mixed feelings.
Well,
Pepe Le Pew. First of all, I love that cartoon.
So I have mixed feelings because, like, okay,
you said he was more rapey. You know, that's the reason why.
Kind of rapey. So listen. So I had said to my son, who's 25. I had said to him, hey, did you hear, when you sent me the link, I said, hey, did you hear about Pepe Le Pew? He's being taken from Space Jam. And he goes, well, yeah. And I'm like, I go, what do you mean? Well, yeah. And he goes, yeah, because he's making fun of French people.
Well, I go, he has a point.
I go, I don't think that's why he was removed. Right. And he's like, well, wasn't it? And so I read the article again and he goes, oh, see, he goes, see, I'm too young to even know that. I just thought it was because he had a French accent and they don't want it. That was his first go-to. Right. So that made me think, okay, there's kids, 25, that don't even know who he is, but it could go both ways and it could make them, let's think about it. Pepe Le Pew kissed everyone, right?
Right.
Everybody. He pushed up on every cat, every woman, every arm, animal. Anything, right? If it was sexy or hot, he was like, woo, hey. And he, he wanted to make the move. Well, to some people that and I saw some people commenting, if you can't tell the difference between a cartoon and real life, then you're special kind of somebody and all these other things. But again, what happened to you may not have happened. What hasn't happened to you may have happened to somebody else. And those could be mixed things and situations that could make kids. Right. Or, if you're an adult.
And that's not the first cartoon to even, like get modified or recreated for certain reasons and all that.
It sucks because that's our childhood. But again, my son who's 25 fucking thought it was because he was French.
I mean, and you already know it was just so different back then. Like you can say things.
I mean, you could look at the Looney Tunes in the
look at the Looney Tunes
different
cartoons, the original ones that like a friend of mine has some old classic Looney Tunes cartoons where they're flying helicopters and planes during the wars. Watch those. Yep. And you talk about being offended.
You'll be like, what the fuck?
Oh my goodness. I couldn't believe some of that stuff.
I have mixed feelings, and I think my mixed feelings come from, I feel like a part of my childhood and my nostalgia is being wiped away in that. So that's a personal feeling. But a feeling all the way around, I don't think that it's a bad move because again, it could be, it has to do with what's going on now, and I'm not going to live in the past.
Hey, baby. I bring her on because she wanted to say goodnight. Good night, baby. I love you. Papa loves you.
Good night.
Good night.
Don't let the bed bugs bite.
Night.
Sleep well.
Yeah. Love you.
We love you.
Good night. Good night. Bye, baby.
So cute.
So yeah, let me bring it on the screen real quick. Like I said, I have
bad news for Pepe Le Pew fans. He has been.
Then they got him.
He was set to appear in Space Jam 2, and his scene has been axed. So he was going to be in the movie, touching the arm of one of the major characters, a human character. He was going to reference his longtime girlfriend, Penelope Pussycat, and say that she's got a restraining order against him.
She wasn't his girlfriend, by the way. She was his unwilling target. She was the victim.
Oh. Wouldn't it be better to, instead of cancelling him from the movie, have him in the movie sort of learning and growing and
That's what they had. The scene that they had in the movie with Pepe Le Pew was supposed to be him getting like slapped by a woman at a bar when he tries to hit on her, and LeBron comes in and gives him a lecture about consent and that it's not cool to get grabby with women. It got cut when a new director was brought in, so we don't know if he cut it for time or because he had objections to the content.
That's right.
But if Pepe went, look, I see the error of my ways now. I see how does French speak. I see the error of my ways.
No, that was Italian.
I see the error of my ways. You gotta do
Guy's a goofball.
So I like that. I actually, I like that they maybe should have maybe
that.
brought him in to kind of teach him. Don't you think that would have been cool?
You know, and that's what I thought too. I saw. Did you read part of the article? I think it was one of the ones you sent me. I read so many that the girl who was in the scene with him said that she's kind of disappointed that he was removed because she put him in his place, and it gave her a chance to kind of show that she was standing up for it, and now that won't be something that they can do. So I understood her perspective as well.
Right.
So.
And they've done that type of stuff on many other things too. Like I don't.
And if anything, they should have wrote
just
him in to being put in his place, and then maybe him even being more respectful.
Right, the next time around, or in
right, the
scene
next scene, put him in another scene, and he was more respectful. And I think that makes more sense because she said now it's kind of like they're just sweeping that under the rug as if
I think it's the director. I think it was both. He was like, you know what, let's just not even hassle with that. Let's not even take a chance.
Right.
So I guess
Right.
So mixed feelings, but Alex, he was. Bottom line, he was a little rapey back then, and we didn't know it.
Right. So Alex,
touchy Philly
Jackson 4-hour documentary. I can't wait to watch this. The Janet Jackson documentary.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, I mean 4 hours.
Miss Jackson, if you're nasty.
I wonder if she's going to touch on the whole Super Bowl thing.
Yeah, they are. Of course they are.
Absolutely.
What I was going to say is that I guess he didn't ruin her career, but she, basically got pushed back because of this incident. You don't hear her being
she got shunned.
Yeah.
She got shunned. She got backlash. People talked shit on her. Oh, she knew. She did this for publicity. And that's not what happened. And she's a very private person. So she didn't publicly defend herself really very much at all, if you can remember. And, he just never got any of the backlash.
Right.
So I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be good for her. I think it's going to be therapeutic in general, just, for her. Because she's such a private person, she finally gets to speak up. And who doesn't love fucking Janet Jackson? Like, if you don't, you suck at life.
She's a trendsetter, man. I mean, Jesus Christ.
She's amazing. She's one of the first concerts I ever went to. Like, she's just amazing. And I remember watching her when she was on Good Times. Like, come on.
I was supposed to go see her. I was finally going to see her last year.
Right.
And the COVID hit.
Oh, damn. She's one of the greatest shows.
Might have been, I might have went alone, but I would have took you, Tori.
I'm down.
I'd have been like, come on now. It was July. It would have been like, I think it was like July 24th, and then everything.
My birthday, just in time for my birthday.
And I was like, wow. I was very disappointed because I heard her shows were awesome too.
Her shows are incredible, and her show, her and Madonna both put on phenomenal shows when I was younger. But when I got to see Beyonce, and I was always I was middle ground with Beyonce. Like I didn't dislike her. I just didn't.
But the show,
the actual show, when I saw her concert, the first thing I said was, holy fuck, she's like a Janet Jackson in concert. Because she puts on that's the only person I could compare her to. And that's a fucking high bar to be compared to. Because Janet puts on a performance like no fucking other.
And they're supposed to coincide with her 40th anniversary, her album, I guess, Janet Jackson in the documentary. So that's going to be
I can't wait to hear her talk about her being on Good Times too. Hopefully she touches on it and talks about her being Penny. Look, I love that show. It's one of my favorite.
When I watch, oh gosh,
I got the collectors.
That was
I do.
That was as a kid watching that. Oh my gosh, I was like, You know, like, Mom, like, is she okay? Is she gonna be burned with the iron? Oh my gosh.
With Lona and all that.
That was so crazy.
When I moved, I had Dom young, and when I moved out, I couldn't afford cable. I was fucking 16 years old. Like, I was trying to make it, right? So I think I was 17, and I bought that. I had this collectors for a long time.
Wow.
And, that's all Dominic would watch because we didn't have cable. So
that's awesome, though. I love watching Good Times.
He's watched them all. He loves it. He knows every word for word. Every day we just put on Good Times, the collector's edition.
I love watching that.
Got us through many times.
I love coming home and watching what's happening. Like, I just loved all those shows.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we, that's what we had. And so I had just VHSs to watch it.
That's
but
awesome.
The collectors of the Good Times, it came out on DVD, and that's when I got that. But
Dynamite.
Dynamite.
Dude,
and Willona. So there's a thing. If you go and you search up Willona, how many times she entered? Hey y'all, hey y'all,
oh, yeah,
hey y'all, and they play them all, and you just watch it. Great.
I used to love when JJ would be painting.
Yeah,
like when he'd be painting and he'd be like, and he'd be holding his thing, like he was just that show was awesome.
Yeah, that show's great.
Of course, I had a crush on Thelma. Who didn't? Jeez,
who didn't? She was so hot.
She was beautiful. And yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a great show.
I can't wait to see it. It's going to be cool. So,
what, Good Times or the?
Damn it!
I want to watch Good Times now.
Yeah, you want Good Time. So I think we're going to end it because I know Alex got to go to bed.
Well, hold on. I can't. She's got some notes. I want to get her take on. Because I already know Tori he had popcorn and everything watching that interview. Probably. What did you think?
What interview?
I think the Meghan Markle interview.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that Princess Diana is very proud. I think she's very proud of her son.
I believe that too.
I think that it's very ironic. I saw a thing today that said, I'm going to support Meghan like my mom supported Diana back then.
Oh, that's awesome. I agree with you.
And it fits so perfect. Really, and then hearing, what really furthermore, people, I see people mix reviews and mix things saying about, oh, Harry's just stupid and he's just feeding into this. And I, it's such an insult to insinuate that right. young man is stupid or naive or foolish. He has lived with this, with the firm, the royal family, his entire life. They killed his mother.
Knows,
we're just going to say it, okay? He knows.
Right.
So, what furthermore made me just confirm that he knew. Did you guys hear that they secretly got married before the actual wedding?
Yeah, I saw that.
Why do you think that is? And it was just him and her and the archbishop. Okay, it was just them three secretly.
Yeah,
why? Because he thought there could have been something leading up to that day that was going to stop them from marrying her.
Right.
Him from marrying her.
There's no way they just left and nothing happened.
No, I just got goosebumps because he thought, what if they try to kill her? They don't want her here.
Do they think that? I mean, I know that we talk about it. Do you think he thinks that someone did the palace killed his mother?
Absolutely.
I think he believes that. I think he believes that.
I think he believes it. I think he knows it, and I think he and even more so.
I was kind of surprised Oprah didn't.
Do?
That's crazy, man.
I don't think Oprah wanted to touch on all of that because they wanted to focus on what was happening right now.
Right.
And that's something. It's not going to bring Diana back. And just like when they brought up the fact about Archie and family members saying how dark is Archie's skin going to be possibly.
Right.
And it wasn't Meghan that heard them say that. It was Harry that heard them say that and then came back and told his wife.
Right.
And when asked who said it, they said, well, it'll be very damaging to the family. I think it was his brother that said it and his father that said it.
Wow.
because he also made sure it was a point, and I do believe this, and I don't think it's just blowing smoke because he's scared, but I do believe that he is, out of the both brothers, he's closer with his grandmother.
Oh yeah,
with Queen
I
Elizabeth.
thought that was so beautiful. I thought that was so. Look, I said this to my mother because I talked to her about it, and I said the one thing that I took from her, from her, like she said. I mean, I'm sorry, I got confused a little bit. But with the relationship she had with his grandmother, I thought that was so beautiful. I said, you know what? If it wasn't, just my opinion, possibility, if it wasn't for his grandmother showing her the only love and respect out of the whole family, I was like, she might not be here today.
Do you know, I feel that he is so close with his grandmother. I feel that he is so close with his grandmother because she carries guilt for what happened to his mother. I think she carries that guilt with her, and that's why she's so close with Harry. Yeah. I think it's just absolutely absurd, and it just goes to show that the rest of the firm, who says they can't, they won't give Archie a title. He won't have security.
That says wonders.
What? But his brother's children do?
That says wonders right there.
And now he said he spoke with his grandmother more in the past year than he ever has his entire life.
Right.
As often. Yeah.
So I think she was the one. I'm not saying she killed Diana. She's the one that probably orchestrated.
No. Yeah, I think that it has definitely that she orchestrated a lot of it. I feel that she carries that guilt, and I feel that Charles is such a fucking bigot, and his brother is very similar to his dad. Is as close as the brothers were. They're two different people.
Right.
You look at William, and then you look at Harry. Harry served 2 tours in Afghanistan.
Right.
I mean, and William, he has his history of helping in philanthropy and all that as well. But they're two different. They're same, but they're different. They went their separate ways in certain things.
He just came off as I know that's the interview. He's just answering questions. He just comes off as just a normal guy.
He's so genuine.
Just exactly.
He's so genuine.
I was about to say that. I was about to use the same word.
And regardless of being royal or not, I think the military. I think the military also helped a lot with him and him just playing into the role of him being a human. You're a normal guy too, and him. Bottom line, he's a husband and a father before he's a prince, and he showed that.
Yeah,
and I think it's beautiful.
He didn't overstate nothing. He didn't.
No,
he wasn't overwhelmed or underwhelmed. He was just.
No, he's a class act.
He was there for his wife.
He is a class act, and so is she. And anybody who wants, and then the people who are fucking making fun of her, saying that she was going to kill herself. Like, who's that fucking stank pussy bitch that said that stuff? Who is that bitch? What was her name? That fucking bitch with stank pussy energy. One. The fucking that bitch.
Oh.
Hey, we're gonna have to do a Stomboy and put that on the board. Stank pussy.
Yes. Stank pussy energy. Okay, she needs a t-shirt because her ass gonna talk about oh boo-hoo.
You need boo-hoo. You know what you need? You need an Onats soundbite with an Onats shirt. Stank
for real.
You don't want to.
It's the equivalent to small dick energy. Stank pussy or stank coochie. We can put stank coochie.
All I want to know is
hey, where are the white women at?
You stupid.
Where are the white women at?
That Bethany fucking the bitch from the Housewives running her mouth.
That's like the.
Do you see that she gave
somebody's story?
That's because she wants. That's how she is. That bitch wants to insert her stank ass everywhere she goes, and she wants to run her mouth talking about she married Prince. She's just mad because she didn't marry a prince. She married a real estate mogul and rode on his coattails. She was actually hashtag.
Someone Stank pussy energy.
You know, and she rode her real estate mogul husband's coattails. She was the brokest housewife there was.
Right. Like I had
So
to
she
ask
al-
about her. And I don't know who I asked. Maybe
Well,
one of my
she's got
nieces or
that
somebody.
skinny girl vodka now. But she literally
Right.
she rode her husband's coattails.
Right.
They said that these women were making like $40,000 an episode when they first started out, and she got like 7,000. Like she was the broke one.
Right.
So for her to even run her mouth, and then she wants to go ahead and release an apology. Like, bitch, just keep your fucking apology, okay?
Cheesy, fake ass apology.
You bitch, go worry about your pH balance, okay? Like, I'm gonna need you to stop.
You said PA. Oh my god. Oh my god.
For real, don't get me going.
You know, the last subject that I want to talk about, I know Alex got to go, but
Stank hoe energy.
Stank asshole.
The judge ruled
Sounds
in
funky.
favor of Vanessa Bryant and Kobe's crash photos. That they took it out of the reports and stuff like that. And I know you wanted to talk about this, Alex. So,
No, I mean, I was trying to read about it because I sent you the things, man. But I was reading about it earlier, and I was a little confused. It was a long article.
It was a long article. Yeah, it was a long article.
It was long.
Very long, but no, I just seen it.
They struck in the pictures, and then the cops did they get in trouble? I thought that's what I read.
Or they be charges?
I think so. I think that's what it was to the cops that were taking pictures of them being, they passed.
Yeah.
I guess some of the in 2020. I'll just read it. The Times reported that deputies were asked to delete any photos of the incident after the department received a complaint that an official with the sheriff's department was showing photos at a bar. The LA Sheriff's Department has been accused of having a long history of sharing. I read this earlier, but I'm just repeating it. Long history of sharing photos from investigations involving celebrities, including the 2009 attack on singer Rihanna by her then boyfriend Chris Brown.
Do you remember?
Vanessa better go for blood on that one,
and that's why. So they gave her the okay on that and all that. So
good.
I thought that was I mean, guys, she doesn't need any more heartbreak for. I mean,
right?
Heaven's sake, man. My God, so
this shouldn't even be a factor. So they need to throw the book at him, and he should have more fucking. Disgusting! You're a disgusting human.
There goes that
he
small.
Just because he was a celebrity, but
SD energy.
SD energy.
Got it all going on tonight.
Right.
Co energy. Small.
Well, that was
energy.
Like all of them smell like cat pee. They all smell like cat pee.
Yeah, it smelled like me. Oh my God! Remember? And when Joan Rivers died, they took
man.
When she was on the operating table.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
It's kind of the same thing. Like, okay, they're a celebrity. I understand. Like, you want to show that.
They're human. Yeah,
they're human at the same point. It's just
don't be a disgusting fuck. Like, come on.
Right. It's just crazy.
Sickos.
Yeah. Yep. So we're gonna end the show. Go ahead and plug what you need to plug.
Just gotta plug my charger in. Go to bed. That's the only thing.
Plug
my charger in while the stanko women are out there plugging in other things to themselves. Yeah. If you know what I mean. No, I'm just playing.
Oh man, y'all funny. I hear you though. Well, you guys can follow me on Facebook at Tori Rochelle, or on Instagram at All Beauty All Beast, or on Twitter at.
I thought you was gonna say. You can follow me like home because I'm gone.
You can follow me home, and you can follow me home because I don't have internet there.
You don't have internet there. All right, so you can follow me. I Linktree. I thought it was pretty cool. I messed around with it, so you can follow me at the linktree.ee/DreekSwift. That has everything in it.
I'm doing that this weekend.
That's cool. I just want to say, I haven't watched an interview like that in a real long time. I can't remember the last interview I watched, but I was like, I could talk about that shit for about another 2 hours.
Mm-hmm. So could I.
It was
so
good.
Could I.
It was really like I kind of knew already what I was gonna get.
Let's see,
I really
get
did.
my notes?
But yeah, maybe Saturday we can talk a little bit more about that. Because I thought it was.
I'm looking at my notes. Like, did I cover everything?
Right. No, we can talk. A little bit more.
He did, baby Archie didn't. Baby Archie didn't even get a birth photo. Ain't that some bullshit?
That's crazy. That's crazy. I'm sure there's some more. And it's crazy because she got another one on the way. So.
And how about all that happened on Women's Day?
Yeah, I thought that was crazy. I did think about that.
On Women's Day.
I did think about that, Tori. But she showed all the women how strong she is and how strong you could be.
She did.
And I felt so bad for her, you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, like I said, without the love of his grandmother, and it always comes. It's weird, ain't it? It always comes from from the wiser, at least
Yeah, and they're living.
I just think that really helped her, keep her whatever, keep her sane and make it out of there. I saw that one thing that said about Princess Diana, but I saw another thing that had said, isn't it crazy how Princess Diana is taking better care of her son from the grave than his dad is alive? Wow. Yeah.
And that's true. So I know she's proud, and she's gonna. Yeah, I know it's true. I know she's proud.
Crazy.
As she should be.
So yeah, I would definitely mess around with the link tree. It is free. I did, me. I go and I got the pro, but I really like it's cool. And
I'm sorry, I don't live in the palace.
Yeah,
I don't live royal.
Hey, you guys, wait a minute.
No, I'm playing. I had to say that. I'm sorry.
That's so funny.
So I wanted to say that.
Me, Prince.
I read someone says you're missing your OnlyFans on there. So I started my own. Someone said they were going to start one, so I put. I can't tell you, it's secret.
Oh, okay.
Did you really put it on there?
Yeah, but I did it for the show, so I can start putting the show on there. Because I don't know if you know Tony Skits. He does all the skits on Instagram.
Like a porn name.
He did Tony Skits. He did an Instagram, and all it is his videos. So
what is all this dirty talk towards the end of the show?
Dirty talk.
Listen, my mom says to me the other day, "Who is that Drake's house that he films from?"
Right.
The one with
I almost asked him one time
too. The one with the piano, that's really nice.
Like, yeah, I like your setup, man. That's dope.
No, Mom, no, it's not his house.
You should have had her call in one day and tell him, hey, can you play something on the piano
I was
for
rolling.
me?
She's like, have you been there? It's really nice.
I love your mom. Where's she at tonight?
I know she's working.
Somebody's
working tonight.
Oh, okay. Damn, everybody's chiming in.
Who's Evie Boo?
I don't know who. That must be Alex's boo.
That's Alex's face. His OnlyFans name.
Right. DM me. DM me. We'll talk about that.
Make me create one.
Yeah. Alex create one. And
there
Tori,
was Paige from I know you do, Tori.
Yeah.
Paige from WWE. You know what that is, Drake?
No.
Oh yeah,
okay.
Zach told me all about it. Zach showed me
the fan page she created.
Yeah.
One? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I might have to be a fan there because wow.
Oh yeah, if they were busting it open, Zach was a subscriber.
I loved her before Becky Lynch, but
yeah, okay, Zach always like she's a hoe.
Damn.
He loved it. He loved it. Oh, he's pro hoe. My kid's pro hoe. It's okay.
I changed the top. I customized it, put some Mexican colors, and look at this. And I got my Cash App.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta fucking make one.
Yeah, that's what is that again?
And I got my Cash App.
Yeah, right. I know he had to mention the Cash App.
Is it hard to make? Is it hard to make?
No. And then I got the podcast on there.
I'm like, should I just let you make it?
Right, the link tree. Yeah, just send me the link, man. Hook me up and then send us the link.
Yeah, me too.
Well,
Yeah.
so I can just go on to the link
You want me
you
to
sent
create
me?
you? You want me to create you a fan page?
Yeah.
No, just show me. I can
That's
do that from the
funny.
link you sent me though.
Huh?
Or you sent us. I can create my own.
You just do the link tree.
All right. Well, maybe when I do that, I'll create a fan page. Maybe I like what I like at Drake's.
I like at Drake.
I like at Drake. Looks good. What?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Talking backwards.
Oh yeah.
Who's Evie's? Evie's tamales.
They want to
What
be
they talking
invited to
about?
your house, Drake.
I was talking to Evie. She was watching.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's me, Connie. I can't see. All I can see is Facebook user on my side.
Drake is fancy. It said Drake is fancy. Miss you, girl.
He is
Right.
fancy.
Somebody.
Fancy Drake.
Yeah. So,
All right, Prince
we're gonna
Charles.
end it.
I'll see you later.
You should. Yeah.
Bye, crazies.
You gotta do the you gotta do the wave though.
Yeah, do the way. Hold on. Let me do the video before you guys end up just logging out. He took his headphones out already. So pick up, wash your culo, wash your hands. You know what I mean? Keep your mask on, fool.
But
Because they tell you can move out.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands and wash.
You guys have a good night.
Watch your no stank coochie energy.
No
Oh,
hashtag.
what we forgot to. What's Saturday? What is Saturday? Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
We're all over.
Don't forget about Saturday. We're gonna be chopping it up. We don't have anybody. Also, Showcase Sunday's coming. So come and check it out. Miguel will be on there on Sunday. So check that out. So Saturday, we got a show Saturday and a show Sunday. So everybody check it out. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, don't miss it.
Don't forget to tune in. Love you. Be safe. Love you guys.
Mooches.
Guys, peace.